Let's speak about Workhorse's Q2 earnings. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and today we're speaking about Workhorse's Q2 earnings. So as I'm recording this, the earnings haven't come out yet. They come out in about 30 minutes. So I don't know if I'm happy or sad yet, but what I do want to do is actually go through it live on camera, give you all my first reaction, and see what actually happens. Two things I've been getting asked about quite a bit as of late. Okay, number one, the fact that Mahindra have pulled out their bid in regards to the USPS contract and how we can think that may affect Workhorse. I've also got a few comments in regards to the moving forwards act, so we'll go through that as well very briefly. And as always, there'll be a few more little bits and pieces sprinkled into the mix. So right before we get into the video, can I please ask you to smash a like on this video, as it genuinely helps me and the channel out so much. The support you guys have been showing lately has been insane. If you're new around here, hit that juicy red subscribe button, join the family guys, we're 20,000 subs and growing, and drop me a comment down below, let me know where you stand on Workhorse now, because I know a lot of us are involved in this company. With that being said, let's get into the video. So the very first thing is this, the fact that Mahindra withdraws bid to supply trucks to the USPS. And obviously this is a good thing, it's exciting, there's one less company that is competition, but to me, honestly, Mahindra was probably the least likely to get any portion of the contract in the first place. So I don't think it's necessarily put Workhorse in a better position. I know a lot of you guys got really excited about this piece of news. I don't think Mahindra was ever really in the runnings. Now that's not to say that Workhorse is the only company in the runnings. They're not whatsoever. There are arguments for the other two companies as well. But Mahindra, I never really thought they were up there. Now, I've gone through a fair few articles in regards to this, and some of them were ridiculous, the things they were saying. But this one here at least makes sense in what they're saying. The decision to withdraw from the bid is part of the group's effort to take measures that enhance its financial sustainability. Obviously, getting this contract would require significant investment, and that just looks like it's something they're not willing to do right now. Anish Shah, Deputy Managing Director and Group CFO, M&M, said, "The $500 million investment by us in Mana was subject to us winning the US Postal Service bid. We chose not to participate in that bid. We were shortlisted as the final four. What had been invested so far was a very small amount, which was essentially in preparation of the bid, and all of that has been written off." So again, guys, let's be honest, I don't think many of us thought Mahindra was going to get a big portion of the contract in the first place, but I did just want to point that out to you in case you all weren't aware. Okay, right, here we are. We report Q2 revenue misses. Market just opened. We're up 0.28%. Let me refresh the page. Up 0.99%. We missed earnings and we are going up. Okay. Now let's see. There could be an initial spike. We could get a little bit of a sell-off. But okay, what happened? So I did say in my last video on Workhorse, I didn't expect anything special to happen here. I wasn't confident that we were going to see better than expected earnings by any means whatsoever. Q2 revenue for the quarter came in at $92,000 versus the consensus estimate of $270,000. This is just the first impressions, okay? Management commentary. In the first half of this year, we accomplished a series of major operational and EV industry milestones, culminating in the first official deliveries of our C-Series trucks to Ryder just a few weeks ago. Additionally, after acquiring the requisite various state and federal approvals in recent months, we are now the only medium-duty BEV OEM permitted and able to sell and deliver our vehicles in all 50 states, which should allow us to further distance ourselves as the first movers in the last mile EV space. Widening our sales funnel through tax incentives, CARB, okay, government programs and strategic partnerships, all of which we now have, will allow us greater opportunities to build on our growing backlog, happy days. We are now focused on maximizing our efficiency and output as we look to ramp production throughout the remainder of the year to meet our ambitious delivery campaign goals. Okay, all in all, it looks okay. Would not surprise me at all if today does end up being a red day. Okay, so obviously all of this information is super new. Here's an article that went up 2 seconds ago. Workhorse Q2 2020 earnings. Surge in interest expense results in record loss. So this is for the 3 months that ended 30th of June. Okay, this was the consensus, this was our actual, and this was Q1 2020, and that was Q2 2019. Honestly, I'm not upset whatsoever. This is fine to me. So our operating expenses for the quarter were actually down slightly on the previous quarter. We're currently sitting on $26.2 million in cash and cash equivalents, and we reported a net loss of $131 million. That's not what you want to see, but it's fine. It's not exactly like it was really unexpected. Now, they also provided the following business highlights. Some very important things here, a lot of which you may be aware of, but some nice things to know in there. August 2020, Workhorse strategic partner Lordstown Motors entered into a business combination agreement with Diamond Peak Holdings Corp, as we all know at this stage. Post-transaction, which is expected to close in the fourth quarter of this year, Workhorse will retain its 10% ownership stake in the merged company, which is estimated at approximately $160 million based on a $1.6 billion valuation, as well as other royalty considerations previously outlined. Obtained HVIP eligibility from CARB, we briefly said that earlier. They received their purchase order for 20 of the trucks, closed a $70 million financing through a senior secured convertible note with a single institutional investor, delivered 2 C1000 electric step vans. They were awarded the executive order from CARB for the C-Series trucks, designating the C-Series vehicle as zero emission in the state of California and permitting vehicle sale in all 50 states. They were added to the broad market Russell 3000 index, and they joined the Small UAV coalition as an associate member. A major contributor to the loss was the increase in Workhorse's net interest expense to $124.3 million from $15.9 million in the comparable quarter last year. This significant increase of $108.4 million in interest expense was almost exclusively due to the change in fair value of our convertible note and the mark-to-market adjustment for some non-dilutive warrants issued to a lender. Both of these gap adjustments are non-cash and primarily dependent on the underlying stock components of financial instruments. These large adjustments were the result of a stock price of $17.39 on June 30th compared to $1.81 on March 31st. Due primarily to these non-cash adjustments, our net loss was $131.3 million compared to a net loss of $20.1 million in the second quarter of 2019. A better indication of operating performance would be loss from operations, which was $7 million this quarter compared to $4.1 million in the second quarter of 2019. As I said, I don't think people are going to like this. I do think the market is going to go red today, and yeah, we can see that now. We're down 2.3%. The market's not even open half an hour yet. We'll just have to see what happens. For me, it's fine. I didn't expect it to be a super impactful quarter's earnings. I'll actually be quite happy if we do see a bit of red because I want to buy more shares ASAP. I have been waiting for this call to start for so long, but here we finally are. Okay, the call is on. I am going to listen through it and I will give you updates as they come. So some important points that I took from the way he was speaking in that interview. He essentially is saying that Workhorse has the capabilities to perform for the USPS contract because of Lordstown Motors. That is obviously absolutely massive, people. He is hinting they have that production capacity. In all honesty, not much else happened, people. Two very small things I want to bring to your attention quickly, okay? One is that yet again, ARC is buying more Workhorse. They're now up to 427,000 shares in the company. I'm telling you, they literally buy them every single day, and I would not be surprised at all if we see this go up very quickly. And I very briefly want to speak about this, okay? Because I've been getting asked about it a little bit lately. House passed infrastructure bill gives USPS $25 billion for e-vehicles. House Democrats passed a $1.5 trillion infrastructure spending bill Thursday. Now this was early July, okay? That would give the Postal Service $25 billion to modernize postal infrastructure and operations. Very good, okay? That obviously, a lot of that will relate to new vehicles. The bill specifies that $6 billion of that money would go towards buying a delivery vehicle fleet. Now the Moving Forward Act, okay, is what a lot of people are speaking about now, would require USPS to replace its fleet of Grumman long life vehicles with at least 75% electric or zero emission vehicles. Now guys, this act has been introduced, it passed House, it hasn't passed Senate, hasn't gone to the President, and it hasn't become law. And more than likely it won't, in all honesty. So I'm not getting too excited about this just yet. I do believe that USPS wants electric vehicles, but I don't believe the Moving Forward Act is all that important right now. Look guys, let's just remember what company we're dealing with, okay? It's Workhorse, it's a highly speculative company, it's a growth stock. Earnings report should not matter that much. You need to have strong hands to stay in a company like this. It really is that simple. I again did just go ahead and buy some more shares. I'm feeling very confident. What I will say is don't take that as me saying you should go and buy shares, because again, it's a high risk play. It's a growth stock. You could lose an awful lot of money. You could make an awful lot of money. We will have to wait and see. All in all, I think the earnings report was fine. You know, I didn't expect anything very good. The next two quarters are where things will get interesting. All in all, guys, not an awful lot of excitement, sadly, but everything we've spoken about in all of our previous Workhorse videos still stands. I still am a massive bull on this company. They still are my biggest position, and as I've already said, I even bought more today. This is one of those companies, guys, we are just going to have to constantly keep up to date with them, at least for the next two quarters, at least until the USPS contract comes out, more than likely by the end of September. Anyway guys, I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please hit that juicy like button, as it genuinely means so much to me. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. I will see you for tomorrow's video. Peace.